So I'm definitely not as musically talented as Bo Burnham, but I know the lyrics to American Pie. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Wait a minute. Wait. Sorry, I got distracted. This'll be the day that I die. Bo Burnham Inside is a new comedy special by Bo Burnham. It stars Bo Burnham. It's performed and directed by Bo Burnham. He wrote the music, he did the lighting, cinematography, and editing. This special is entirely Bo Burnham. And in this special, Bo looks like Ryan Gosling's slightly less attractive brother, mixed with Andy Kaufman. And then he slowly morphs into Rasputin. This special takes place in one room in Bo's home, and he recorded it over a year of the pandemic. Usually, I don't review comedy specials, and that's for a good reason. What am I gonna say? It's not funny enough, and so I'm gonna give it an F. No. But I figured there's enough objectivity here to give a concise review of Bo Burnham's Inside. I had absolutely no plan on ever watching Bo Burnham's comedy until some friends started recommending him. Then, the day before Inside came to Netflix, some of my cousins recommended him. Thanks guys, by the way, they watch my videos. Then, a few days pass after they've recommended it to me. Inside was out by then. And a bunch of people on the internet are saying Inside is a masterpiece. So I decided to watch Bo Burnham's other Netflix specials to preface this, and it was interesting.
No shoes, no shirt, no shoes, you didn't hear that.
But I really liked Bo Burnham. His shows are unique, he was funny, and his music was really good. After watching Inside, I legitimately believe that this is the best thing on Netflix. Out of all the Netflix originals, this is the best one. It isn't just that this was recorded at Bo's home that makes this unique. Granted, no other comedy show was recorded in Bo Burnham's house, but that's not the only reason this show is unique. It's that there are a lot of heartbreaking moments, like this part where Bo just turns 30, or pretty much everything towards the last 20 minutes is just heartbreaking to watch. Usually after a song or comedic moment, there's a part that's more quiet, and it's kind of hinting towards Bo's declining mental state. That's what's so enthralling about Inside, this observation of Bo Burnham's declining mental state. Throughout the special, Bo becomes more mentally unhinged, and we see this project combined with the stress of quarantine take its toll mentally on Bo. Inside felt like it was about half comedy special and half art house cinema. It pretty much runs, so there's a comedic part, followed by a more serious part, followed by a comedic part, and it keeps on like that for an hour and a half, but eventually as Bo's mental state deteriorates, the comedic moments become more infrequent. I really like the comedic moments. I think they're incredibly funny and exceptionally well written. But the artsy, more dramatic part of it is what I'll mostly be talking about, because it's the whole reason Inside is objective enough to review. I love Bo Burnham's shows.
I love you!
No, you don't. You do not. Haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love. You need to reject both sides of the spectrum to leave a healthy middle.
I love the idea of you!
Stop participating. Not a participatory thing going on up here.
He does it like a concert, but a spoof concert. He sometimes tells jokes, and most of the time sings satirical songs. Burnham brought that sort of thing to Inside, as well as his own unique thing, and I acknowledge what he's doing seems significantly harder than performing on stage, because he has to manage everything himself. Some of my favorite moments are just these long shots of him silently and meticulously setting up lighting and equipment, or shots of him editing in a dark room, because they're so well shot, as well as being very emblematic of this message prevalent throughout the special that comedy is necessary during these dark times. So the comedic moments have very bright, vibrant light, but since this project is taking a very heavy toll on Bo's mental health, we see all the behind the scenes stuff in dark lighting. There was a surprisingly good soundtrack to Inside. There were some songs that, as soon as I heard them, I said to myself, that's gonna end up on my Spotify playlist. Usually, Bo Burnham's act is very musical, and usually the songs he sings satirize some sort of music genre. There's definitely less of that type of music, still some, but less, but the music was still funny. Two songs stood out to me. They're called Welcome to the Internet and How the World Works. I swear, I would not stop laughing during those songs because they're absolutely hilarious. This takes place entirely in one room, so there's a very claustrophobic feel to the entire thing, and maybe this is just me being a neat freak, but I noticed as the special went along, the room got more cluttered with stuff like wires or clothes. So there's some sort of intention to create a claustrophobic, disheveled atmosphere. Inside had great cinematography and great lighting. You've got that emblematic contrast of dark and light I talked about earlier. There's also the use of a projector that was impressive, where we see Bo in front of a specific wall, and usually this projector is projecting something onto that wall. There's also a specific song that flashes lights onto Bo's face and the wall behind him, and I just really liked the use of lighting in that scene. Bo directed the heck out of Inside. An example of this is that he starts the special out by telling us that it's gonna be all over the place. At first we think, oh, he's just telling us it's gonna be random. And then as it progresses, we start to realize he wasn't telling us that it was gonna be random. He was telling us that we aren't gonna know what to expect. So as the film goes on and he starts to make an uncomfortable amount of suicide jokes, we kind of start to worry a bit for Bo. Like, is he gonna be okay? He kind of, he seems damaged. And it's little details like that that make Inside so great. There's also the ending. Somehow it can bring both a smile to the face and a tear to the eye. Inside is a great comedy special, mixing comedy with some drama to create a masterfully made comedy special. I'm going to give Bo Burnham Inside an A+. This means I've officially broken a 4-month streak. I haven't given an A+ to a movie since February, all the way back when I reviewed Annie Hall, but I think Inside is well deserving of an A+. I think this is the best comedy special on Netflix, and probably the best Netflix original. Like, what else does it have to compete with? Stranger Things gradually declines each season, and Cobra Kai isn't really a Netflix original. And then you got all the Netflix movies, with the exception of Roma, The Irishman, and Marriage Story. All the Netflix movies are either big budget action flops or pathetic attempts at raunchy comedies like The Ridiculous Six or Father of the Year. But yeah, Inside is a remarkably worthwhile comedy special that I highly recommend you check out. What I liked about Inside is that, unlike other comedy specials, there isn't an audience to laugh at the jokes, so it can't tell you where to laugh. It's so hard to find a comedy anymore that doesn't point at something so obviously humorous to tell you to laugh. Sometimes it doesn't hinder the movie much, and other times it becomes a serious annoyance, like the movie Anchorman. But some of the rare examples of a subtle comedy are This Is Spinal Tap, that's right, it goes to 11, and The King of Comedy. I can't recommend these two enough. Both are paragons of comedy and masterpieces in and of themselves. Bo Burnham directed another movie called 8th Grade, and after seeing Inside, I really want to see 8th Grade, because Bo Burnham has proven himself to be a really talented director. One of the uniquities of Bo Burnham's comedy is that it's more of a humorous musical act. I think you know where this is going. I'm gonna recommend a few non-Disney musicals, since you've probably seen all the Disney movies I'd recommend. You should try out Across the Universe, La La Land, Sweeney Todd, Three Idiots, Chicago is one of my favorites, and although a lot of people hate it, The Greatest Showman is actually pretty entertaining. And don't judge me, I haven't seen any of the classics like Sound of Music, and I have West Side Story, but I haven't seen it yet. So, yeah, I'm weird, and I would recommend Oklahoma, but I have awful memories of when I was in a play of Oklahoma. One of the most interesting parts of Inside is that it depicts Bo's declining mental state, and I always like to see a story that can depict mental health accurately without any of that Hollywood glamour. So, if you're fascinated with that aspect of Inside, buckle up, because I've got a few for you. Psycho, Whiplash, A Beautiful Mind, Split, The King of Comedy. That's right, I'm gonna recommend it again. It's a great movie. Three Idiots. I'm gonna recommend that again, too, because it's also a great movie. Apocalypse Now, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. The Royal Tenenbaums, Full Metal Jacket, and Memento. I can guarantee you'll like at least one of these, and I know you'll definitely love Memento. I swear, when I think about Inside in my head, it sounds like something I've seen and loved before. A neurotic comedian who's been doing quirky comedies starring himself makes a breakout film that's still a comedy, but more serious and more mature in its message. And we say their previous work is equal to that film, but we all know which one is objectively better. I swear, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't name it. If you know what movie I'm talking about, I recommend that to you, but I'm not sure what it's called. Try and find out and tell me. Well, that just about does it for my review of Bo Burnham Inside. Before you leave, how about you go ahead and tell me your favorite comedian? I'd say I have a few, but I like these 5 comedians almost equally. Ronnie Chiang, Anthony Jeselnik, Louis C.K., George Carlin, and Bill Burr. Don't ask, I like dark humor. Or you can tell me what you thought of Inside if you saw it. After you finish with that, you can head on out. Stay safe and watch good movies. Bye!